Yes, we've reached the halftime interval from the two games. Just to give you an update, what is happening in Toro, the game Toro versus Busoga, it has currently been stopped because of some heavy rainfall there at St. Paul's, and the game was stopped at about the 35th minute, and we are still waiting for updates onto that game. And that is probably the reason why we did have Lango versus Acholi on DSTV as well. We shall be giving you updates on that game, whether it will be moving forward, but it is still 0-0 from the Akibwa Stadium in Lira, where Lango and Acholi are yet to score a goal in the second leg. As it stands, Acholi is going to be moving out of the quarterfinals in this edition of the FUFA Drum Edition. Gentlemen, 0-0. Not many talking points in terms of the game, Tendo, but probably...
Why not many?
A lot of talking points.
Because
Maybe.
it's 0-0.
Yeah, it's 0-0 for me.
There is a reason why it's 0-0.
Why is that?
The goalkeepers are Colossus.
Yeah.
And that is a lot, man, because it is, like I said, goalkeepers win you championships. Both goalkeepers are determined to let the strikers do what they have to do when there is no worry at the back. Of course, the fact that the goalkeepers are saving means that the forwards of both sides are slicing through the defenses at will. And it's an exciting game, a very exciting game to feed on that mammoth crowd. And the biggest talking point for me is the passion of the fans. The rain is falling down, but no one is moving an inch. You would rarely see that anywhere. And that is the beauty of the FUFA Drum. And kudos, apoyo matek to all the people in the northern region.
Bull, as we are getting the highlights from the game in Lira, currently 0-0. What did you make of the first 45 minutes so far?
A bit of a good play from the back lines, and then the defense, the goalkeepers, because they're doing the best. I'm impressed by Derek Ochan. He's getting strong. I'm impressed by Tony Chamera. He's picked up from where he left off in the last game. But still, the strikers too, all the attackers for both teams need to be really astute and technical in their repositioning of their chances, because they've got a lot of chances. That is Emmanuel Obua. He just had to take a slight look at the goalkeeper and then aim really well, perfectly, and then execute it well. And then even Moses Aliro didn't get ahead of that ball that was coming through from across. He had to do better. Those are some of the chances that they got. And then some good and wonder saves from Derek Ochan. They did like that one. That one was stellar. As much as the execution was not as superb, but still you credit the goalkeeper. Even Tony Chamera came through in the chances that actually got. Majorly, it's been a good play from both sides because it's expansive, end-to-end. Both sets of teams are looking to exploit those chances that are coming their way. But 0-0, that's still a good position for Lango province as a team.
Yes, the goalkeepers have stood out in this 45 minutes of play, Tendo, and we're actually seeing so many chances coming in from the highlights, including Innocent Maduka having that chance where Derek Ochan produced a masterclass of a save in that moment. Is actually probably a bit lucky to have such a result at halftime, or do you think it's probably down to what has been produced in the back line?
I think this game was destined to be like this, very exciting. Apart from the result in the first leg, there is nothing else that can divide these two sides. In terms of the passion they have exhibited and the level of entertainment they are giving the fans, it looks like even Lango wants to win the game. They don't look at the game in terms of the first leg, I think, and that is exactly what I talked about in terms of how the fans can make the players react. I'm very sure a certain set of players is not using the tactics the way the coach told them. If the coaches came and said, let us give them football, then I would give credit to the coaches. Bob Bobira, his team is already ahead by 2 goals, so he can wait until he concedes probably first goal. Even when they concede 2 goals, they are still not yet out of the thing. But I think the Bob that we all know, the passion that he always had when he was playing for Pamba and then later KCC, is exhibited in this game. no way you could look at the other result. Get this result and take it by the scruff of the neck. And they have tried so much to try and do it. And you imagine they know that they don't have Dennis Omedi. So anybody is trying to get to the goals. But for Aliro, I think he has been a little unfortunate. Same way with Obua, who this time has been drafted in the forward line. Achille has been pulled away from the centre back and is playing left back, so that Obua goes ahead. When he went and scored that goal, you think that the man of the match performance warrants that. But putting him in the left wing position has probably given him a lot of questions. He's not probably used to taking many chances. He took the other one very beautifully, but he got another one and he fluffed it. So, and that has pushed now Aliro in the middle. He is normally the one that plays on the wing. So it's a little bit tricky for them without Dennis Omedi. The shape has changed a little bit, and they need to look for this the goal that, as it comes. Maduka is also normally a midfielder, but I think he's more extended forward now to try and probably link up because of his speed and crafty skills. And they don't have the luxury to score from the distance. They don't have many players who can shoot from the distance normally, like we know Omedi. So they have to go to the goal area to try and craft those chances. And they have tried it because it's not easy to breach the ACHOLI defense like that. Much as they scored last time, we didn't see the number of chances that they have created this time round. And that is what explains it. And for ACHOLI, I think the amount of attack exhibited on them is deterring them from actually focusing on their primary aim. Their primary aim is looking for 2 goals to get back into this game. But every time they are worrying about the defense, because as they are looking forward to look for goals, again, another chance is coming their way, and Derrick Ochan is saving, or Owinyi is trying to tackle away a player. So it's really a nervous game, a nervy game, edge of your seat, and you think that the coaches are scratching their heads to try and probably alter the tactics, get a goal, or lock up shop. Right. That is a cat and mouse now game in their heads.
And how does ACHOLI find that balance, Bule, in this game? Of course, they are having to, on one side, defend so much from the attacks from LANGO, but at the end of the day, they do have to get 2 goals to probably make this game into a draw.
They're trying as ACHOLI, but you look at their attacking prowess, that is Dominic Aela, Dominic Abonga, Norman Ojik. They have been powering, but still the cohesion and transparency is still a bit lacking. Even though the goalkeeper Tony Chamera has come up with some superb saves, but you can ask yourself how many chances each player has really contributed to the ACHOLI side. And then the midfield prowess of Felix Okot and Sando Pio is not helping that lot to get their transitional play going forward. They must help themselves in opening up the pitch and also getting the services up front. Otherwise, the detachment will always be there. As much as you gain control of the ball, you have some possession. But if you don't create those chances up front, it's going always to be detrimental to you. As ACHOLI, I believe they just need to let it go. There's nothing to lose right now. You're already 2-0 down. What are you going to do? Just open up play. Get the belief in the players that we can really get an early goal in the second half. They started off pretty well, closing out shop, but still wanting to go ahead and get some chances going. I credit Tony Chamera still for standing tall, but second half is coming. Minutes are going to go by. What are you going to do as a coach? In Geoffrey Kena, maybe look at the substitute bench. But then Brian Obedi Pogba has been one of the players in the midfield trying to get them forward. But they just have to believe. They just have to believe. Try out something. If you do it collectively as a team, it will come. Yes, defensively, LANGO can deal with it, but still get them to that pressure. Deliver that pressure to them. You can get something out of the game in the first few minutes of the second half.
Yes, and just to let the viewers know, I'm getting some news from the game between Toro and Busoga. The pitch might be a little bit flooded at this moment in time, and there is a possibility of that game being replayed tomorrow, like the other game at Tendo. Now, what could that mean if the game is postponed to tomorrow? Could that be any adjustments in terms of approach on that game, or is it still, in Busoga's hands.
It's tricky.
It is very tricky. 35 minutes, depending on to what level the game is going to be replayed. If they start from 35 minutes, it's going to be tricky because it was a little open with the minutes that we saw. It was a little open, and after the pitch has been flooded, definitely. This pitch is not very bad, only that it is flat probably, and there is no drainage because it's a natural grass pitch, not a really planned stadium. Because in a stadium situation, you'll have the access to draining out the pitch, but of course, it's going to be harder for Busoga because probably they hoped to finish the game and come back immediately. If they had intended to stay overnight, then it will be easier. But of course, any game that is put forward to a later situation, especially when you have played a little bit of it, gets tricky for both sides. Even Toro will have it hard to actually sort the difference they have. They are chasing 2 goals. So I think it's going to be harder for the fans maybe, because they have to come back again, and probably it might be at a different time of the day. We'll get the real accurate time that it has been scheduled. It's going to be harder for them, but those that have the access to TV, I think the TV crew will be there. Hopefully, in the rain, not so much has been damaged, because that could also be a challenge in terms of technical equipment and logistics needed to actually have that game replayed and shown on TV. But those are the challenges, and it's force majeure in football because the rain is part of the weather expectations everywhere. It's not that a camera just fell down. It's natural. That is part of the rules and statutes of football and everything you expect. So I think that is where professionalism comes in. The coaches have to do their job, the players have to do their job, and the technical people will have to do their job. And we will have to do our job when called upon again. Yes. Yeah.
Atendo, what would you be thinking of in this game, Lango versus Acholi, if you are the head coach of Acholi? What approach would you be putting on to the second half? Because you are still looking for those 2 goals. At the same time, you still have to defend what Lango can produce in terms of the attack.
Well, there is not so much you can do in a situation where you are chasing 2 goals. I am a student of one of the greatest coaches ever, Sir Alex Ferguson, and every time there is that situation, he pours everybody who can get a goal. So the only thing to do is to bring in as many players that can guarantee you a goal as possible. Probably put in even Francis Onet-Kalit. The challenge is for who? That is where it is. And when you look at the way he has set up, Felix Sokot and Sunday Opio have not done anything defensively to help the team, because every time Lango is going there, they reach. So probably you can sacrifice the way we saw Vipers trying to throw the cat among the pigeons against KCC. Throw in anybody who can guarantee you a goal. Eventually the goal came, but it was a little too late. Hopefully they can get the goal early and probably have a chance to. But again, it's hard because a certain Musa Ramadan seems to have identified the most potent player to score. That is Dominica Bonga, and he's patrolling him everywhere. So it's a little tricky. They have to get ball players who can dribble and excite the fans and probably get chances onto target.
All right, let us hand you over to the second half. We're just getting an update for the other game, Toro versus Busoga. It is postponed to tomorrow at 10 a.m. The game will be live on FUFA TV, confirmed. Let us hand you over to Peter Otai for the second half.